Hi everyone, this is day 3 summary for the best things we learned at AILA conference in Chicago 2024. Let's go. Number 1, the good thing about seeing USCIS directors and officers apologize profusely to thousands of immigration attorneys over all the mistakes that have happened in the past few years and all the excuses on why they could not process things better is that we get direct lines of communication on talking about certain problems. For example, USCIS is being sued massively over all the major delays. So because so many of the lawsuits are over processing delays, they've provided several emails. I'm going to read it to you. If you see any trends or policy issues that you see that's a problem, send it to reports@aila.org. If there's some clear error on your case, for example, you filed the case, you didn't get it, and you get a denial notice or something crazy like that, or if your case has been pending for like 2 years and there's just no end in sight, email to the Ombudsman at the Department of Homeland Security. There's Central, Northeast, Southeast, and Western. Just don't push them around. Send one email. Be very clear. They will review it. And if you're planning on suing the government because it's taking too long, just use this one instead to prevent everybody losing money. It's policyfeedback@uscis.dhs.gov. We have personally used these resources provided by the government to help our clients when their cases are complicated. I can vouch that it does work, so you could definitely help yourself or help your clients if you're an attorney watching this channel. The CBP Director of Enforcement Programs Division, as well as Washington, D.C.'s CBP officer, as well as the field officer at San Francisco, they came to share what is a one-way ticket to secondary. Basically, what guarantees you to be in trouble. Number 1, if you have any inadmissibility problems, be prepared. If you have agricultural items, if the K-9 inspected you to have drugs, if you have any complicated advanced parole issues, and anything that will take more than 60 to 90 seconds for them to decide. So if you have a complicated case, for example, if you've left the US for over 1 year and you cannot explain it in 60 seconds, or if you just prepare a whole bunch of package and say, here, officer, read this. Well, obviously it's going to take more than 90 seconds to read the whole package, so they'll send you secondary. So do your best to explain everything under 5 seconds so the officer could determine, have a couple questions with you, and approve. Your goal is to get your case approved within 60 seconds. Now, if you get pulled into the first secondary, soft secondary, and then you get referred to the hard secondary, and then you're totally inspected, and things get really bad and nasty, like for example, they search your phone inappropriately, you're racially discriminated against, there's 3 things that you can do. Each port of entry has a Professionalism Service Manager, a PSM, and it's publicly available. You can contact them. Their entire job is to make sure that a CBP at their port is professional. Number 2, you can file an inquiry with the Department of Homeland Security TRIP system. It's managed by the TSA, but it's covering CBP as well. So I've personally used this. I can guarantee you it does work. If you have any particular issues, let them resolve it in that system. Number 3, the Traveler Communication Center, the TCC. It resolves the medium issues like an I-94 error. Again, that plus deferred inspection, those are the ways to deal with any problem that arise. Lastly, if you've been expeditedly removed, it's a nightmare. You might never ever see the United States of America again, but there is a small hope that it could be reviewed. Now, it has to be very, very clear that there was a mistake in law. We've gotten it done once. It's generally really hard. The CBP officers were sharing that they just did another one. If there was a mistake in law that you shouldn't have been expedited removed, you should have just been terminated and removed. You should have been offered a voluntary withdrawal to be removed. If there's some certain issue, it's a minor issue, well, you could get that reversed and you can potentially get a visa again. But it's very rare, but it is possible. Number 3, humanitarian parole. I didn't realize how many parole programs are there, but this is what they are. Let me list it. The Afghan parole, Uniting for Ukraine parole, the Cuban and Family Reunification parole, military-related parole in place, the Filipino War Veterans parole. These are all programs that USCIS implemented, supported by Congress, where you can be in the US legally. You cannot get deported. You are protected. Now, if you do not fall into one of these categories, that doesn't mean you can't get a parole. CBP officers, they can also have discretionary authority to grant you a one-time parole for a limited basis. Here are some examples of what CBP officers are looking for. Receiving urgent medical treatment in the U.S., becoming an organ donor, being a caregiver of a terminally ill relative in the U.S., to attend a funeral, or seeking protection from targeted individualized harm, like asylum and refugee situations like that. So that is the humanitarian parole in a nutshell. Check it out. It's amazing. Last but not least, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. You have the right to request from the government what they have on you. I just didn't know that they're supposed to give it to you in 20 days. I have seen some FOIA take over 9 months, and then people have to like file a lawsuit to get it, or they say they don't have it and you need to appeal it, right? So we've done that. We've appealed it. We've got things that have been redacted. We're able to get more information because we need it in order to represent our client. But I just didn't know. Technically, they're supposed to give it to you in 20 days. So in all FOIA filings from now on at our firm, we're going to say we look forward to receiving it 20 days. And, you know, if you need a 10-day extension, just let us know. We'll grant it. No problem. Have a good day. And that's it for the Day 3 summary. If you liked what you see, feel free to check out Day 2, and we have Day 5 coming up. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.